Welcome to Cafe Latino here in Comcast Channel 28. As every week, as every time we're here together, we invite wonderful people. Today we are going to talk about something very, very important for the community, volunteerism. Volunteering in different places are important, so we invite somebody that will tell us everything about it. Welcome, Alice.
Thank you very much, Laura.
Thank you for coming. You are the director?
The CEO.
The CEO for Volunteering in Fairfax.
For Volunteer Fairfax, that's correct.
So I always invite people to share how you become to be the CEO of this organization. Is something important for you that you helped you to do that?
Well, I've been a lifelong volunteer, so
Okay.
this particular position speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
You can start volunteering at a very young age and give back. There's a lot you can get out of it.
So, as a beginning, we'd like to talk about what is volunteering. You know, I know, but I would like to clarify everybody, because I think these are many ways that people can give to the community, a volunteer. So one of the ways that people I see volunteer is in the schools, be part of the school, you know, the services for the school. But I know there's a big range to things to volunteering. So how you will define that?
Volunteering is giving of oneself to someone else or to a cause, to a need, responding to that. And a lot of times we feel personally guided to volunteer because we want to give, we want to do, we want to help. There are a lot of us who want to help others.
Okay.
At the same time, there are special ways that you can volunteer. If you love children, yes, work in a school, help the teachers.
Yes.
But there are also skills that are needed. People who are handymen and women can help repair houses for the elderly so that they can stay at home and retire in their own home. There are people with languages that I don't speak, and that would serve the diverse community that we have, all the immigrants coming in. We need languages, second languages all the time. So each of us has something to give. As long as we have time, there is something we can do to help someone else. I firmly believe that. Everyone can do it.
So one of the things is people like me, we immigrants come to this country. And it's really hard for us to understand where to go if we wanted to help people. Because in our countries, we really work. Sometimes we help at the school, but we don't do anything like that. But when we come here, we receive a lot of services that the government provides us. And I think one way to get back for all the services that we're receiving is volunteering. So sometimes it's hard to understand. So should I go there places, or the people doesn't know where to go? And there's so many organizations. So your organization specialize in guide people to where to do it, no? Because,
exactly.
So if somebody has a knowledge about, for example, in Spanish to translate, so I can go to your organization and you can put me somewhere that I can do that.
That's right. We are connected to the community,
Okay.
the nonprofit community as well as government agencies,
Okay.
county agencies. So what one could do is complete a profile on our website, which is volunteerfairfax.org. Complete this profile outlining your interests, your skills, your availability, where you live. Maybe you want to work close to home. Maybe you want to work close to where you actually work. It will then connect you to the right place that you will fit in. So, for instance, if you want to help with deliver food, Meals on Wheels, we would then refer you to the right agency that does that. And maybe when you came here, you might have needed meals or something. So it guides you right back. But we are the starting place for volunteerism because we already have relationships and connections across this county, far and wide. So we are that one-stop shop where we can connect you.
One-stop shop, yeah. One of the things when I talk with other parents, they know the kids in high school, in middle school, they had to do volunteer work to finish high school or middle school.
Get that community service.
Community service. And
Right.
I think that would be something that people, the people should know about it, that we can be go with you and do that. Do you have special programs for youth?
We have a directory online which outlines specific nonprofits that need people of those young ages and what they can do. So it is all laid out, makes it very easy to find an opportunity. And we take calls all the time as well. I will add that there are additional opportunities for youth to volunteer with Volunteer Fest, which is held the fourth Saturday of every October. And a lot of those projects are across the county. We try to have something in each supervisor's district. But there are opportunities for youth to volunteer on that one Saturday.
Okay.
And then we have an event called Give Together, which is held on Martin Luther King's Day. It's a holiday where a lot of parents are also off, and so youth can get involved, but we also need older youth to serve as volunteers. And it's usually held at one spot in the county. Oftentimes, most often, it's been at the JCC. I would love to see another one because we get so many families and youth volunteers that's just in one place. Imagine how much more we can do if we have others.
What do you do that day? For example, in the Martin Luther King Day.
On Give Together, we have several nonprofits represented with projects. And we had Homeward Trails, where we made dog toys for the dogs that we're trying to help place. That nonprofit is trying to place them in homes so that they're not euthanized, cutting down on that. We have a nonprofit that helps foster care youth that are aging out. We made Valentines for them. Beautiful. So there's something for the creative person that wants to volunteer. We also had a representative this year from the Phillips programs, and we made stress balls for them. But you need, you want families to come, and it's usually geared towards young elementary age youth, to do together, to instill that family opportunity to give back together. And then we have the youth, the older ones in middle and high school, who came and helped us organize and direct people, guide people, help with the supplies, resupplying each of these projects. And I met some fabulous young teens. They couldn't have been more helpful. And we sign their paperwork so they get the credit. But it's wonderful because it's a feel-good opportunity for everybody.
Absolutely. So coming back a little more about Volunteer Fairfax, how long have you been there?
Almost a year and a half.
Wonderful. And what is the thing that you like more to be a part of this organization?
Well, it's a great organization to be inspired by all that the people do in this community. I think we all have something to add and contribute. Whereas I had other opportunities for jobs, I picked this one because I felt like I could be more effective across the county, not just in one area. And I like inspiring people to volunteer as much as I like to volunteer. So, it's volunteers are good people to be around.
So a couple days ago happened. Was yesterday? Yesterday.
The weather.
The weather. So I was in a meeting, and suddenly all the people received this, the sound that is the warning, the tornado warning, and everybody was stressed. And I thought in you because you have a special area in case something like a tornado or something happened in the community. Can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. We do what's called emergency response.
Emergency response.
We have a seat at the Emergency Operations Center of Fairfax County so that in the event of an emergency, we are there as a contact point for volunteers throughout the community. We're more involved when it comes to the aftermath of an event, an earthquake, tornado, flooding, what have you. We have been training the different communities to be resilient and to know how to handle an emergency situation, know how to take care of one another, be aware of their resources, be it four-wheel drive, if it's a snow event, generators, if we lose power. They need to get to know one another better and who has what resources. So that in the event of a tragic disaster, they can take care of themselves. But we are also linked to them. They can connect with us if they need additional resources.
So in that point, people that would like to be part of that group, they have to be trained to?
Yes, we have trainings all the time.
Okay.
We welcome everybody. Okay. We work with CERT, we work with other groups, but we are training the communities, and there are other opportunities. We'd love to get them involved.
So if it had happened, the tornado, God bless me, didn't happen, you will coordinate people to send them to different areas in different districts to be sure that everybody has the resources and everything that they may need.
And we want it to be organized.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's wonderful when you do have hundreds of people coming to help, but somehow you've got to organize that so that they can actually do the work more efficiently, serve all the needs.
So that, I think that is so important. Coming back a little more about you, so you have a lot of, you've been working in the community for many years, and when you thought in helping, when you have a little kids, no, I think that the fact that you can bring your kids to do volunteer, I think this is something that united the families, no? I think
Absolutely.
I think so. When you have these families coming together to volunteer, the adults will do in certain area, or you put the families together to work together to a project? I just confused.
Well, at Give Together, they would be doing it together.
Okay, so you put it together.
You know, they move from one project and table to another.
It's very long time. How many hours have to do that?
Well, it's a one-day event.
Okay.
And we usually have 3 sessions.
Okay.
They fill as early as 3 weeks before the date.
Oh.
So it is definitely a popular event. We have some families that have been coming for years with their kids. And I met one family this year that tried last year and it was already booked. And they were so disappointed, but they were quicker about registering this year.
So there are a lot of people that really dedicate their time and you recognize them.
Yes.
We were talking about that. And I think it's important to recognize people to help others, no? And we were talking about sometimes they're minority people. The minority sometimes, I don't want to be, no, but it's important because if you recognize them, other people will learn about what they do. And, you know.
Volunteers can be inspirational, truly inspirational. And we do have an awards program every year where we take nominations of people that have done a certain number of hours or certain wonderful work in their community. We do have judges, a panel of judges who were winners in previous years, including corporations, because corporations also contribute to our community, individuals and corporations. Boy Scouts, all kinds of groups submit nominations. While we get, say, 204 nominations, we might honor and recognize only 25 in the case of this year. That's a lot to boil down. I mean, because you hear such great stories, it's hard to pick. But it's my hope that those people in receiving recognition at the breakfast event every April, which is National Volunteer Month, Recognition Month, those people should serve as inspiration to the others to go out there and volunteer. And the community, we've got so many needs and so many qualified people to give, to do. And of course, all you really need is time. You don't have to have a skill. But it should be a call to action for everyone to go out and do something, to contribute to their community, to volunteer and help somebody.
So I wanted to be clear here. So when you volunteer, some people says, I don't have time, I don't know how to do it. You know, let's just define that a couple of things. When we're talking about you can volunteer just with a skill. So maybe somebody who is very good at marketing can go there and help Volunteer Fairfax and help them to design something or to do a video and stuff like that. So I wanted to share with everybody that think about the little skills. What are the skills more important that you need now in this moment? Would you like to have people about what are the skills you're looking for?
Well, a lot of nonprofits are operating on a shoestring budget, us included, and so we need office help. Well, a lot of us need someone with a second language because we have people coming in needing our services that do not speak English. So translators are helpful.
What is the main languages are you looking for? Besides, I think Spanish will be one. What other language?
Spanish is probably the top one. In a lot of cases, it's Korean.
Korean, okay.
So when you think about all the nonprofits out here serving
Yeah.
people, they're daily connected to people of all languages.
yeah.
So, for instance, a food, food pantry that is delivering, maybe they need to communicate with the families to see what it is they need. And they need a language.
So language is very important.
Right, it is. But like you said, there's also a need for marketing.
Yeah.
Nonprofits, that's probably the first thing people let go, even in corporate sometimes, is marketing. Well, we all need help. If we had more marketing help, then we would actually get the word out more to the people who need our nonprofit services.
Yeah.
And we've got hundreds of nonprofits in this area that are serving the community. So just think, they all probably need marketing help. They all probably need languages. They all probably need a driver. They need front desk help, someone to greet people very kindly.
You're right.
While we have employees, we can always use additional help so that we can get further. We need donations to help supplement what we do in the office, marketing materials. And a lot of businesses could just offer that in kind. We would gladly recognize a business that helped us produce our brochures that reach out into the public and say, we need your help, or we're here to help you. Because it goes both ways, it truly does.
Absolutely. One of the things I'm pretty sure that people knows, but we should reconfirm this. So if I do a donation to a nonprofit as a corporation, I will be using for deducting my taxes, no? Deduction of taxes.
Yeah.
As a people too, so individuals and corporations can.
Oh yes, individuals can. I mean, I think a lot of us have donated to Salvation Army and Goodwill, and they give you a sheet so that you can claim that deduction on your taxes. Same thing, some people might give meals, they might give food, they might give office furniture when they're closing their office. We got a call last year, someone was closing an entire unit and they wanted to donate their furniture to someone that needed it, to a nonprofit or someone that we nonprofits serve.
So that is important to recognize the follow. So you can dedicate your time, if you have time, go to your, but if you don't have time, you can donate things.
That's right.
Or knowledge.
Or dollars.
Or dollars, yeah.
Yeah, there's always more than one way to give.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we do have a program called Volunteers for Change that is directly impacting the community by way of those individuals with very little time. So when you say you don't have time,
yeah, because I think it's
Volunteers for Change in some cases will have just a 1 hour project. You can come in and join a group and furnish sandwiches for a shelter. In 1 hour, you might do 50, 100 sandwiches. That's a big help.
I know.
Just a short period of time. And we have people come in and do it as a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, they'll come in and do it together. So there's always something that can be done in a short period of time.
But this is what I wanted. This has been awesome to have you, because sometimes the people don't understand that volunteer is something that is needed in the community, and it's a way to get back, no?
It is.
To get
and
back.
The rewards are great. Volunteerism makes you feel good. It really does. It adds to your health and well-being.
Yeah.
And then when you think about the retirees in this area, and the baby boomers, that is one of the largest groups of people right now, generations. We have a program called RSVP that serves the 55 plus, with the idea that at 55 a lot of people can retire. Not everyone can, but if they can. But they have got such knowledge and experience, language skills, hands-on skills, that we can connect them to opportunities. And when you think about it, if they stay actively engaged mentally and physically, they're not going to be as reliant on the services that the county provides.
You're right. That is something important. In the case of the Hispanic community, I've been meeting a lot of people that, they just stop working at the age of 50, 60, 70, and they're still with a lot of energy, and sometimes they don't know what to do. So
we can find extra things for them to do to get back.
I'm pretty sure that. So if somebody wanted to volunteer in your group, any of these groups, and they don't have transportation, somehow the organization sometimes offer transportation, because sometimes the problem is, okay, I'm at home all the time, but I don't have ways to go to this place.
I don't know individually which nonprofits can help there, but there are nonprofits close by that where you can take a bus or walk.
Yeah,
the Route 1 corridor has several shelters up and down the road and a good bus system. But there's got to be a way. I mean, you never know if someone can offer a ride, and that's a big help.
Yeah.
There are some groups that volunteer, and they use buses. So it could be something, like the little smaller buses.
Yes.
So there might be opportunities. I would say, don't say I can't do it because of transportation, or I can't do it because I don't have time. Call us, we'll figure it out.
That is something that is very important.
I'll also add with youth who volunteer for community service, a lot of colleges will give credit for that. But additionally, for those youth that are trying to figure out what they want to do career-wise, volunteerism, I think, is a great way to find out.
So my son,
try something.
Yeah, my son wants to be in the FBI. So I've been talking to him, I'm like, well, why don't we figure out some kind of way that maybe within the police department, maybe they have something that you can do and begin to observe. So, but as him and many other kids, I think we have to help them, because now with all this technology, they cannot see that they have to help the community. They just think about Xbox and stuff like that. So
there's not as much human contact. No. It's a computer.
So I'm worried about the young generation, the teenagers now, because they live in this fantasy, everything is texting, everything is Xbox, but I think we as a parents should be working closely with organizations like you to find them places that they can see the need.
Right.
Because I think they cannot see there are a lot of kids that they don't have food, they don't have shoes, they don't have things that they have it, no? Something maybe would be very important.
It would be good if we could be more aware of our own community, because there are needs.
Yeah. So that is very important. So there are, you have different programs. Can we just go through very fast?
Sure, absolutely.
We mentioned one was
the youth directory we have available online, so we can connect the young
youth
people.
Directory, the student had to fill it out the form too?
They have forms from the school that need to be completed.
Okay.
So if they volunteer for Bright Path or Lorton Community Action Center, they will that person that sees them do the work will sign off on
perfect. So then the youth, then what next?
So then we have, so that's the youth. We have Volunteers for Change, which is for the busy individual who might only have a little bit of time. We can find a place for them to volunteer. We have ACS, which is the community service that is delegated by the court system. If someone has a infraction and they are told they have to complete 50 hours of volunteer work or 100 hours, we then work with them to connect them to the right nonprofit who can depend on them to do this work and sign off with the courts. Then we have the RSVP program, which is for the 55 and older. And we have emergency response that we train and need support on from the community.
So 5 programs, wow, it's a lot of work.
It is. Well, we have one more. Let me mention Business Link. And that is how we connect the corporations to the community. Because corporations have a social responsibility policy. Some might want to concentrate on the military, retired military, some might want to concentrate on youth, some homelessness, and so they want to do some service. They are committed to doing some service to the community to give back where they are operating. So we will connect them to that if they would like. We have 3 stages. We have referrals, and then we have the full-fledged project management. So for instance, if someone wants to help youth, we'll come back from all of our members with 3 proposals, contacting those nonprofits that work with youth. What do they need, but they can't always get done with their budget, their time, their staff? So they might come up with a project. It might be transformational. In one case it was with the Boys and Girls Club.
Awesome.
They needed certain areas painted, certain areas cleaned, certain areas landscaped. So there were all sorts of needs, and one of those corporations chose that.
That is
We
incredible.
provided everything, all the supplies, transportation, and they went in and transformed that Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And what was really great was the kids came in after school, there were tears.
Oh, it's incredible. Well, Elise, it's been wonderful to talk to you and learn so much about Volunteer Fairfax. Our time is coming up, but thank you very much to be here today.
I thank you very much for what you're doing, bringing us to the community.
Thank you. Well, we come into the final of Café Latino TV here in Comcast, Channel 28. Has been a wonderful experience, so please visit the web, volunteerfairfax.org, and get involved. We always, the need is outside and we need to help them. We're looking forward to see you in our next show in Café Latino TV in Channel 28.